Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Hey, 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 welcome back to yet another episode of the AIP podcast. It's your host, it's Cheng, CEO of Supercharge Lab, on behalf of the AI Partnerships Corp. And today, super happy to have a guest from Semantic Brain. Semantic Brain is at the forefront of addressing critical gaps in AI security and reliability. So all of you, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Joe Anandarajah. He is representing Semantic Brain. Now, Joe is fueled by this unshakable passion for the transformative potential of AI. His journey is dedicated to bridging the gaps hindering AI adoption and progress, particularly in the realm of security and reliability. So, in this episode, we're going to dive deep into the world of Semantic Brain, exploring their cutting edge solutions and the impactful future that Joe is envisioning for AI. So join us on this exciting journey as we discuss and shape the future of AI security and reliability. Hey, Joe, it's so good to have you on our show today.
Thank you, Anne. Really glad to be here, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Let's dive right in. I'd love to learn more about you. Tell me about you, yourself, your journey, and how you got to Semantic Brain.
I love math, and I have loved math since I was a little kid. Probability and statistics was something that fascinated me. So was calculus, and this interest, eventually led me to compete in a number of math and physics competitions, and ended up winning some national and international awards in math and physics. I also took some linear algebra courses in university. Uh, Ended up getting an engineering degree and an MBA. And a few years after graduation, I ended up working as a consultant for the University of Toronto Innovations Foundation, where I started working on AI projects, including startup commercialization. That was kind of super interesting to me. And I really had the opportunity to bring my probability stats, calculus, and linear algebra background into this. I saw the potential, loved it. And ever since then, I've been taking AI courses, prototyping, experimenting with TensorFlow, scikit-learn, NLTK. Um, and a few years later, essentially, I ended up working for Scotiabank and then TD on some big data and some AI projects. Met my co-founder at TD. He has a PhD in computational neurosciences, and we jointly recognized that there's a huge opportunity in the AI space. It was growing fast, especially in areas, and it has lots of potential in financial services and wealth management. So that's how we ended up essentially starting Semantic Brain, applying AI essentially in financial services initially.
Wow. It sounds like Semantic Brain has had a couple of significant pivots in its journey. So maybe you can share with us a little bit about how you moved from the fintech space into building enterprise security solutions.
Yeah, so when we initially started, we were kind of working with a hedge fund advisory firm, which essentially meant that we were working in wealth management and capital markets type solutions. Um, and we independently developed some high value added wealth management, mortgage solutions that we ended up pitching to the big banks in Canada. Um, and um, and really, what we found out was they were they were really compelled by the high value and how we can transform the industry, but they were really concerned about security and reliability. So what was in their mind was, how do you protect sensitive and confidential data? How about the negative impact it can have on brands when the reliability is not there? What about reputational risks, legal issues, cost overruns? So, so we ended up adding security functionality initially to our wealth management offering But then we realized what we needed to do is kind of separate it out, and focus on it, because there was a lot of demand for that. So, and we also recognized that we needed to kind of make it work with what the banks already have. They shouldn't have to go and forklift what's existing, but really make it work with what they already have. And this should also work with their current chatbot implementations and other software applications. So so that's how we kind of made the pivot. Like, we haven't abandoned wealth management, but we are focusing on helping uh, banks and financial service institutions add that security and reliability layer. It's a small add-on that kind of makes a big difference.
That sounds amazing. You spent a lot of time developing these current solutions, bringing together holistic software systems thinking, and then merging it with AI. Maybe you can share more about, how holistic software systems thinking works, really.
Yeah, so basically, uh, actually, within a few weeks of deciding to focus on AI security and reliability, what we realized was that nobody in the AI space was taking a holistic view of, whatever financial services or healthcare institutions have in terms of their applications and their infrastructure. Um, and this was kind of readily apparent to both myself and my co-founder, because both of us had significant experience in enterprise systems and software. Um, and the other thing is, if you look at it from an enterprise perspective, it's their existing systems and software is not going to go away. They're going to add more AI applications, but there's going to be a lot of hybrid applications that have conventional software and AI capabilities. And and really, what happened is it dawned on me that what we needed to do was kind of merge AI security and reliability with DevSecOps. So DevSecOps stands for development, security, and operations. And it's a bunch of tools and best practices that really should be combined with AI security and safety, reliability capabilities. Unfortunately, I had the opportunity to work with Scotia Bank, architecting their DevSecOps for cloud and big data. And that really gave me the insight to kind of merge these two domains together optimally, and kind of work. We started working with some leading companies in the DevSecOps space. Um, and and AI has its own ops solutions like ML ops and LLM ops, but these are still very much AI centric. There's no real thinking about how to integrate with enterprise systems and software. So we found, once we decided that we really need to integrate with DevSecOps, that uh, there's a lot more you can do. We can help enterprises reduce risk substantially and help them speed up development.
Absolutely. How do you think security and risk management in enterprise organizations have evolved, and where do you think it's going to go in the near future?
Um, I think, essentially there's like three big shifts, and some other ones too, that are happening from terms of enterprise security and risk management. The biggest one is like, when, let's say, like financial institutions introduced internet, mobility, remote work, and cloud computing. These technologies were not risk free. They all introduced new risks. And and some moved relatively quickly, others moved slow. But eventually, what enterprises learned to do is kind of take calculated risks, and mitigate those risks along the way. Um, and then from a security perspective, what has been happening is what you call shift left security. So what they're doing now is more and more when they're designing or architecting a solution, they are building security into it as opposed to making security an afterthought, bringing it in on the right. So now they're going on the left side. Um, and one of the biggest things has been cloud security. So cloud security, I mean, cloud has had a number of security challenges, and enterprises implementing cloud have had to incorporate identity management, encryption, secure APIs, etc., to kind of make things secure. And so we're kind of now getting into this AI journey, which is a more riskier, but kind of enterprises have graduated to handle these types of security risks. But there's also other ones to keep in mind. Zero trust essentially means even if somebody is inside the building, you need to identify them and authorize them to before you have them give them access to certain things. So that's a very important security uh, uh, concept that has come into play. Data privacy has become more and more important. So GDPR is something that everybody talks about. And also from a regulatory perspectives, things are becoming more global, and also like it's more stricter and more uniform. So these are some of the things that have been shaping how enterprises approach security.
Great. And I think we're just about to run out of time, but maybe let's talk a little bit about why there is a need for us to change the way we think about enterprise risk. How do you think a corporate leader can embrace changes in enterprise risk?
Yeah, so I think there's a few fundamental things. Technology is advancing quite rapidly. It's not going to slow down. This is especially true in AI, and really, it's becoming harder and harder to predict where things will end up. And there's risk of related to adopting new technology, but there's also risk associated with not taking any action. And risk is always relative. It's not like yes, so, 0 or 1, or 0 or 100. And we really need to set benchmarks, like sometimes if you're talking about AI, those benchmarks may need to be relative to humans. And and really what enterprises need to consider at this point in time is like, what is the best place to get started? Where is risk kind of most manageable, minimal? Is it customer facing or employee facing applications? Is it employees supporting customers? So people need to consider that and then figure out whether they want to start with their internal help desk or use it for marketing, and then go into customer facing applications. Um, and enterprises really need to kind of need to be data driven, so they need to kind of test some things out, really identify if there's risks and how well is being managed before saying yes or no, and kind of take a graduated approach to advancing, because not doing anything and kind of ignoring AI is definitely not the right approach either. um, and but there are some things like you can't ignore data privacy, and you need to have some sort of AI governance framework in place because it's going to be relevant. So those are
That's
kind of my,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, that's great, Joe. And well, thanks for this conversation, Joe. It's been such an enlightening conversation, and absolutely, I think our audience is going to be able to learn a lot about risk and security and the approach to enterprise security. And with that, I guess we are out of time. And so, once again, thank you, Joe, for being on the show today. It's been such a pleasure to have you on our show. Again, my name is Ann Cheng. I'm CEO of Supercharge Lab, and I'm your host on behalf of the AI Partnerships Corp. I'm signing off. Good luck to everybody and all the best.
Thank you, Anne.